Okay, in the interest of time, we continue with the next presentation where we want to introduce you to another OpenText product called Brava. So using Brava, you can save PDF files using PDF-A formats. You can redact PDF documents to hide, for example, credit card information. Brava can also be used as a file viewer that supports many popular file formats. And in more detail, over to you again, Helmut.
Yeah, many thanks, Ines. So you told everything, so I can stop my presentation because everything is done. Okay, I want to go a little bit more into details because we have some customers in the field. They're using OpenText Brava inside team developed applications, and I want to give you more details about at least OpenText Brava, and also how to use this OpenText Brava in Team Developer 7.33 applications. That means also I want to give you an overview what's OpenText Brava Desktop. Like a good idea to work with documents. That means reduction, comparing documents, publishing documents, work with documents, pass forward documents into a workflow, and all the things what you want to do, and the daily work maybe of everyone who is working with documents. And some of our customers want to have a nice looking and a full feature complete viewer inside the application. So they are working with different formats. They want to compare different formats. They need information out of these documents. They want to compare different documents and so on. So it's not only viewing a document. So if you want to view a document, maybe you need only a freeware tool. You can load this document into the freeware tool, and that's it. But Brava is more to work with documents, to have really an interactive action with these documents. So team developer, for example, creates reports. This report can be saved as an PDF file, but this PDF at least is not very modern. It's old-fashioned. And we have a lot of customers that are looking for a version or a special way, for example, to save this as an PDF-A format, E format, whatever. They want to protect some information inside this PDF document. They want to hide information. So they want to do the same as maybe for a special PDF viewer. And what we are doing with Brava integration is a little bit more. That means we want to work directly inside the application with features of Brava Desktop. So what is Brava Desktop? Brava Desktop is a nice tool to work with documents. So you can load any kinds of documents into Brava Desktop, like Office documents, like technical drawings, like PDF, like emails. You can load nearly every format into Brava. It's only depending on a special license. That means if you don't need, for example, technical drawings inside your environment because you are running business applications, there's no technical drawing used. So at this point, you don't need the license to, for example, to open technical drawings. Maybe later on, you get also attachments from customers with technical drawings, and you want to do measuring inside your application, then of course you can extend this license. And also, working with documents means you have different user tasks. That means also redact critical informations, like credit card informations or address information, names, maybe text numbers, and so on. So everything can be reducted by using a special script or by using a text or a box. You can open a box and you can hide information. During working with this document, you will still see this text, but if you publish this document, then really the code and the text is replaced. Also in PDFs, for example, is replaced. There's only maybe a red or black or whatever box around this text. So no one can read this information. You can do annotations like the post-its. That means write text on a special page, like please review and send this information to the next person inside the queue, inside the process, and he gets information. As you can see on the right-hand side, I have to review something, I have a list to do, so all these annotations can be sent with this document is inside the document, and during publishing you can decide I want this annotations, this maybe information also inside the document, or I want only to publish the document itself. You can compare documents, not only PDF to PDF. You can also say, okay, this is my PDF document. I get it back from maybe a special customer. I load this PDF into my Brava environment, and then I load the original document and I can compare them. And you can see the differences, for example, between the PDF document and the original Word document. And you can see and you can scroll through all the differences, and you can create also a compare protocol. What is changed on which page, what was replaced, and so on. And of course, published documents, PDF1, PDF-E, A, and so on. We have also some other products around the Brava toolset. That means a Brava for browser. That means you can run at this point Brava inside the browser, so it's a browser desktop, and you can also load the documents into the browser environment, and you can do all the nice things based on, like in Brava desktop, also on browser environments. It's done with the same API like we use in Team Developer. And we have another nice tool is called Blazon. Blazon is for batch. That means maybe there is a source directory on the server side, there's a target directory, and we have a lot of scripts maybe in the Blazon environment. And the Blazon looks into the source directory, finds a new file. This file is maybe tagged with maybe it's a contract, and then the scripting for contract is running, and it is passed into the target directory with all this batch information, like reducting, like comparing, do the annotations, and so on. So Blazon is used for the batch usage of the Brava technology. Working with documents, some key features inside Brava is, for example, to hide information, redact information, like account numbers, like credit card information. So we have predefined settings, so we can switch them on. We can add new functions, like I want to hide postal zip codes. We want to hide information about address information. You want to hide cities, countries, and whatever. So you can create your own script. You can extend the script. And after saving the script, this is a normal XML document. You can use this XML document also in Team Developer integration to run the scripts. So maybe someone has a full license of Brava desktop. He can create all the nice scripts to work in combination with Team Developer applications, and he can offer the scripts to his teammates, to his colleagues. And then they can run and automatically the scripts only by clicking in a ribbon bar menu, and that's it. For the PDF publish, this is part of this presentation, maybe the core part of the presentation. This is a full dialog which is also available inside the Team Developer environment in two ways. First of all, I can switch on inside the ActiveX control of the Brava environment to use this export, this is publish dialog. So you can set all this information, like insert the markup as PDF commands, and. We have some combo boxes, like the type of export. We can switch on the security settings, like setting the password to confirm the password, and all this information. Or we can also use the ActiveX environment. That means the functional classes around the Brava integration to run directly the export of this document. And of course, we can do the measurements, we get back information, we can read this information into maybe text boxes into a team developer application, like we want to have the maximum size of a special sheet or of a special maybe pump, whatever is needed. So we can use also the measurement inside team developer to get information out of these technical drawings. So we support really all the major, I would say, formats like for CATIA, for AutoCAD, for others like FreeCAD and. Work with documents, I mentioned before, comparing documents. So you can compare documents, you get an export, like you can see on the left-hand side, we have found a difference between two reports or two documents on page 22. So please check was replaced. And also what we get a report for the diff result. That means, for example, we have number of additions, we have number of deletions, older, newer information, and of course we get marked text. Add text is green, deleted text is red, and change text is yellow. Newer version, older versions, and so on. So you can scroll down the text and you get all the information on the one fly. Very useful if you have long contracts, maybe some small details are changed. So you can compare by hand, or you can run Brava desktop or inside your application, and you get all this information. You can export this information into a team developer application, into a PDF, load the PDF again automatically, and you can scroll down the result. So it can also be created as a batch inside team developer application. Let's have a look into the API. The interesting thing is, if you have Brava desktop installed as with a normal installer, then you get an icon maybe on your desktop. And also what Brava does, during installation, we create also the ActiveX control. That means the ActiveX control is registered as a registry, and you can use this ActiveX control inside your application. So a pretty simple drag and drop of the Brava viewer from the control panel of your team developer environment creates the wrapper classes, and then you get more than 100 methods, attributes, and you have a fully functional API. So the same API which is used, for example, to run Brava inside the browser. It's only on top a REST web service container. Or if you run this Brava environment as Blazor, that means for the batch environment on server side. And you get a very good documented API documentation. That means if you need a special function, you can directly load this document, this PDF, into the Brava viewer. You can search for it. You get samples. You get also the meta information which is needed, for example, to hide special menus inside your application environment and so on. So it's pretty easy to use. Also, the functions are very well documented with some samples, and you can use them very, very easily inside your application. So I want to show later on some functions of them, some basic functions, and also to redact something to export information into a special PDA format and so on. And another thing is now you can create your own interface within TD. So here is a small sample. That means I can open a file, I can close a file, I can step through files or step through pages. I can use the redact feature inside my team developer application. I can compare files, I have different mode to display different compare files. I can export, I can print. So a full function set inside my team developer environment. And if you need more, or if you want to hide information, feel free to add new features inside your application. So you can also combine, let's say, different tasks like load contract X to do the annotation work with scripts, redact information by using scripts, publish it to PDF-E with password settings, compare document with a draft document, creates a different document and send it out by mail. So it's an automated process inside your application. So a lot of things, a lot of possibilities. So the full function set of Brava is also available inside team developer applications. Some functions, only to give you a small overview what's to work with is with Brava inside team developer. So for example, Brava redact means we need at least our XRS document. This is an XML document with our reduction rules. Like if you find a word like OpenText, please redact. And with a blue box, for example. And the function redact from script, from the framework, from Brava desktop framework, from the ActiveX control, does a reduction. That means it loads the file and gives you back a result, number of found positions inside my document, which are now reducted. The function to export the compare document is also pretty simple. It's only export text compare report. That means this is a report name. We don't need a meta file. We don't want to have a special export format. It's only please export my document, my compare document, and maybe at least you want to send this export document via attachment with nailed classes, maybe to your partner or into the workflow for the next department inside your company. Some function compare document. It's only opening a normal file like PDF, docx, and whatever. So I use only PowerPoint, XLSX, and so on. You can extend the list with all the needed formats. And then what you do is you open the file name and property set compare file name, and that's it. So we set the file name and we set the compare mode, the view mode, to 10. So we have different ways. And this is, for example, a preview, and then it is done. And you can use also a combo box to pass in different other view modes. And it is automatically changed to another view mode. So if someone wants to see the compared documents only, then maybe the view mode to have it side by side is a better way. So you can also save this information maybe in the user environment. Export, that is a little bit more complex, but not pretty difficult to understand. So you have a lot of Boolean variables. If you look into the dialog of Brava itself, if you want to do it by hand, it has also some checkboxes, has also some radio buttons, and so on. So these are the same as for the function call. So this dialog is also using export PDFX internally. So we are using the same interface. At least what we need is metadata. Metadata is some information which is not really directly set, like information out of a combo box. We want to have, for example, an export to PDFA. That means we have to pass in 1 inside the PDF compatibility. So for that, the meta string is used. So the meta string is at this point only used to pass in the compatibility mode. Of course, you can create external files, load this meta information from external files, and so on. But at least you can also, if you have basic information, if you want to do it always the same way, you can use really a normal string to do that. If you need also information from this combo box, like the grayscale and so on, you can extend PDF, I guess it was color or document color, then you can type in the value. Again, if you need a value, look into the documentation, you get a list of all this possible metadata information, and you have only to pass in the header, and after a while or at the end, you need also only the metadata itself, and that's it. You have to pass in the information. You can find this information also as a tooltip, like the PDF document, the metadata string, and then pass in all this information into the export PDF, and that's it. So at this point, we do an export of a document directly to PDFA with all these different settings. No password, no user password. So if you want to do a protection, password protection, you have to set it to true, pass in the password, maybe by using a dialog in Team Developer, and then you can run directly, or you can create directly a PDF document with a password. And if you want to click on it, you will be asked for the password. So now I want to do a Brava desktop API demo. I want to do a team developer demo in combination with the API. And of course, I want to show you also a little bit about Brava, because maybe it's also from interest to get Brava installed as a desktop application. So let's close my presentation at this point. So you can see on my computer, we have also the Brava desktop IXL installed. This is my Brava desktop, and every employee at OpenText in his environment will find the Brava desktop IXL implementation. So this is really the application itself. So if you look into that one, it's always the latest one, because we get always the latest installation packages during the night or in the morning. And we can load different files, like what's new inside the document, inside a Team Developer or inside a SQL base. And we can do, or we can interactive work with this document. It seems to be a large document. Maybe I can take a smaller one. It's still working. Give it a second. So yeah, it's at least a document with 20 pages, and it's a PowerPoint presentation. It's not really a PDF. So it doesn't matter. At this point, I picked a PowerPoint. That's fine. So you can see it's also working. It tells me 20 pages, and I can directly go to different pages and so on and so on and so on. So let's go back. What we can do, we can also open the preview window to see what's on the different pages. We can directly click on different pages, and that's fine. Also, we have some options. I don't want to talk a lot of options, but what we want to do is maybe we want to do annotations. That means we have maybe something like that. Type in change mark 1 is something I don't want to care. So we have the change mark. We find information about this change mark if we look into that. So a lot of interactive work to work with documents. If we do something with reduction, we can look into the reduction area. We can do the scripting. We can do reduction by redact pages. We have also the possibility to do the area reduction or redact text. Let's have a look into redact text. We can use the reason for that. We can type in some information and it should be reducted. Let's have again a look into the script. From to, that means redact from, a special find and redact. Oh, close that one. It's not a good point. Script again. So if we look into the gender, credit card numbers, so we can directly redact. Is nothing found. One redact upgrade created. That means, for example, it was found some information. Maybe I was looking for inside the script for my name, because I did a lot of testings. Maybe I did a change inside the script. To run a script, verify the script, redact up, and so on. So this is really working with some documents. We can also compare documents, but now we want to do this also inside a team developer application. So let's start looking into the team developer application. No, I don't want to do something with that. I start my team developer is over here. I have an MDI window. Inside the MDI window, there is my form window, MDI form Brava. I have my ActiveX control, nothing very special. Later on, we want to look into some functions, some special functions to get some information about that. But first of all, I want to run my application. So at this point, I start my application. Here we go. Hopefully you can see it. And now I can start working with my Brava environment. By the way, this menus, what you can see over here, you can also hide them so that you have only, as would say, a working area. So at this point, I want to use a hybrid. That means some of these functions are now built in Team Developer, and some functions are really still inside my environment to compare them, to test them, and so on. So I can open a file, and I go into my demo docs, and let me see, I want to open the release notes for SQL Base 12.1. So here we go. We have all this information of the SQL Base environment of 12.1. What's new is at least 17 pages. I can step through the pages and so on. I can go back so I can work with these documents. Later on, I can do the reduction, but first of all, what I want to show is I want to compare this document with maybe a file with SQL Base 12.1.3. Open. And now it's working, finding the differences inside my document. And now, maybe you remember I used the preview mode 10. That means inside the previous mode 10, I get the result over here, and I get all the differences and the compared documents up over here. So you can see something in 12.1 is now deleted, is no longer over here. So you can scroll down and find all the differences. You can change the mode, export mode, side by side. Yeah, stepping through the different versions. You can change again back to text compare. And that's pretty nice. I guess this is a really nice feature to compare documents, to compare contracts, compare with original documents, and so on. And of course, compare export file means I can do the export and I can close file compare export results. So it's written into this file, and later on, maybe we can open that file. At this point, now I want to close my compare file and I want to use reductions. And of course, I can use my reduction features, or I can use redact by script. Maybe you remember, and later on we will see it again, there are functions inside a team developer or inside the environment to load scripts. And at this point, I use the script, which maybe was provided by one of my colleagues and so on. So I run this reduction, and it tells me 27 reductions created, and I can find also this information as a result from my API function. So it's still in, and I get information. It was reducted today at 11:17. And if I export my file, then I can, then directly this reduction and this text is replaced. So no one can remove reduction and see the original text. So if you need the original text, then maybe you need additional document management systems, like this is my original, it's protected. It's if you want to change something, you need allowance to do that. But at least if you pass forward to the next department inside your company, then maybe you don't have to read, or you're not allowed to read some information, and then you can hide them. So we can step through it. Maybe we found nothing on that page. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, if we do an export, of course, we click on export, and we have a published PDF file. Let me change the number to get really a new one. It's published now with the current settings. So at this point, I don't have a dialog implemented to change all the settings. And what we can do is now we can look into our environment. We can, of course, print this information, or we can close all the files. I don't want to save the markups. And we can go up. And we have a 10. So it's my export. And this is now my reducted file. And you can see in my script, there was a 1 and n. So Yeah, I don't want to type in maybe the reduction reason for I tapped only in NN. So I can also say reducted by boss or by department, whatever. So this information is now inside the team developer or inside the PDF environment of team developer. And also what you can do is, of course, you can work interactive inside team developer with all these documents. You can use also the next page information, and we found now 3 reduction areas in this document, in this page. Number of pages, of course, get back from 18 because, again, all those functions also send back informations to team developer. I exit this application now, and let's have a look into some functions. So let's first of all, some pretty simple functions, next page, previous page, and so on. This is not a big deal. So if you look into, for example, the functional classes, you will find all these functions over here. And again, if you need a special function, please look into the documentation. You will find all this function very well documented. Load file is pretty interesting. This is our dialog, which is normally used in Team Developer. So nothing special. It's only solid dialog open file with all this information. And we set the file name for the property for the X1 and with the file name. And we have a function, an internal method, property get total pages. And we write it back into the page information. Export is simple. Export text compare report. The report name and is parsed. No meta file is parsed at this point because at least we can also pass in metadata. That means if you look into the function definition of export text compare report in our documentation, we will find you can also pass in a meta string. That means, for example, that you want to have all the data information, like how many information is changed, how many information was edited, and so on. So also with the different colors and so on. Export to PDF. You saw it inside the screen or inside my presentation. But running my application without my test application without an installed Brava desktop environment, it will not work. So therefore, I had a screen copy of this information inside my presentation. But you can see all this information for all those checkboxes are also inside my normal ActiveX environment, my functional classes. And to hide, for example, hyperlink, to do block attributes, output reduction info, and so on. So if I don't need the information, why is this reducted, like this NN, 1 minus NN, I can send this one to false, and I will not see the text. So a lot of settings can be done inside this environment. And also we have our metadata string. So if I want to use PDFE, I have to change that one into 2, and then I have at least a PDFE export. Well, of course, you can do it more flexible, not doing something inside the code. That means you can create this meta string on the fly, or maybe you have different meta strings inside your user environment to load different meta strings. Compare doc is also pretty simple. Load the document, the compare file, and the preview of this view mode is compare 10. That means in my combo box, you will find pretty simple all this. Where's my combo box? I don't know. I cannot find my combo box. Okay. Oh, it's it's inside my menu in my ribbon bar. I'm sorry. So we have a combo box inside my ribbon bar. Combo, here we go. My list and my information about the S mode, and then we change it into the current mode. So it's in my ribbon bar. By the way, ribbon bar, with ribbon bar, you have to use our ribbon get item text to read the text out of the box or out of a text field. It's not possible to get it directly. So that's inside my team developer environment. And yeah, now I'm open for some questions.
Okay, thank you, Helmut. We have got a couple of questions already coming in. So once again, there was a question, where can I find TD examples for Brava? We will publish the samples on my support as well. If you need more, please contact Helmut. He has a lot of other examples and can show you how to do it.
Sure.
Next question, Helmut. Is it possible to open a PDF file that is stored in memory, like I can do it with Foxit PDF SDK? Sorry.
No, it must be at least a physical. Yeah, it must be a physical file at this point.
Okay. Can I compare two TD programs using Brava?
Whoa, that's a good point. Yeah, well, yes, you can do that because it's now in text mode, and you the extension. So Brava at this point doesn't know the extension. So it already will tell you this unknown format. So at least you have to change the extension, maybe temporarily, to, let's say, text, txt. Then you can do that, but not directly load let's say, APL or APT file. So Brava is looking for the extension, but I can test that. Maybe it's looking in the header first. I have to test that.
Okay. Another question Martin answered online already. Has Brava an SDK? Brava has an ActiveX control providing an extensive API. You can save PDF files as PDF-A, for example. One more question for you, Helmut. We are working often with scanned documents. Can Brava analyze these documents like OCR? And can Brava reduce the resolution of the included graphics to reduce file size?
Well, it's not directly built into the Brava desktop. So there are different add-ons, like for document management systems. Inside the document management systems, also Brava used. And there are different other tools first at all to load this I would say images into the environment, but it can be done with the Blazon technology. That means at this point we have, for example, OCR in the Blazon technology, and we can use this Blazon technology to create a readable file and do all the reductions inside the readable file. So it's not built in directly into the Brava environment.
Okay, and then the last one, which file extensions can be opened with Brava? PDF, doc, XMLX, PPTX, something else?
Yes, there is a list on our web page. So we have different sets of licenses for Brava. That means different licenses means also different pricing, of course. And if you need, for example, special formats like for technical drawings and so on, so this is a special license. The best way is to look on our web page, look for Brava, and you get a list, for example, for IXL, which formats are supported for IXL. Maybe 40, 50 different formats. And if you need special formats, maybe you need another extended license of Brava desktop.
Okay, thank you. And with that, we are ready for our short and quick lunch break. And we continue our session sharp at 12 o'clock with Helmut's next session on enhancements in web and mobile application development using Gupta TD Mobile. Thank you so far and see you soon at 12 o'clock.